Guess what time it is?
It's time for the arena match. Match with Alkaid. Match. What did I just say there? What are these males? Get out of here, males. I know. I've done these. They told me to go find them. I won't be doing that. Maybe. I already did. Who cares? It's finally time for our match with Alkaid. But first, I think we gotta do a little more extra training. We didn't have to do a little more extra training. It won't take very long at all. The Alkaid is in this episode. I promise you that. The match with Alkaid is in this episode. But, as I mentioned before, Alkaid kind of whooped my butt. So, I wanted to just be on the cautious side and do a little more extra leveling. Just a teeny little bit more. And unfortunately, it's just Syllabus and Gaspard that are available to you. Because story reasons. It really annoys me that Adelie couldn't be here for this, because we needed to level Adelie up, and our levels are going to be like... I don't know, there's going to be a bigger difference in our levels, but you know what, whatever, because Dot Hack is, thankfully, the type of RPG where characters not in your party will get, like, a percentage of experience that you actually get with your party members. So, she'll go up a little bit, but whatever. So yeah, again, really kicking myself that I didn't keep that footage of Alkaid kicking Hasayo's ass, because that would have been a good time to watch. That would have been a really good time. And I didn't keep it, and I'm mad. I'm mad at myself. But you know what? I gotta get over it, because it's not worth getting mad at myself for. So, what are we doing here? What am I doing here? Am I just giving crap away just to clear space in my inventory, or am I just actually trying to keep stuff? Okay, so Gaspard's got a little more HP. You'll find these, there's like two types of, I guess buffing items. Sometimes you'll find things that will increase like HP or SB by like a set number. And then sometimes you'll find ones that increase it by a percentage. So you'll have to do like a little bit of math to kind of figure out what might be the better option. Like at this point in the game, can we go back to see Gaspard's max HP? It was, oh jeez, I couldn't even tell. Okay, so like for example, if you find a customizable item that gives like HP plus 10%, and you have each plate plus 50 for another customizable item. 50 would be what 10% of 500 would be. So if your character has 500 or more HP, it would be better to give them the 10% because they'd be getting more from it. If not, then the set 50 would probably be better. Yeah, and this is something I never thought I'd do in GU, but just kind of look for a random area to go to. I feel, you know what, I don't want to say I feel like I liked it better in the first series. I'm so sick of comparing this game to the first series, even though it always makes me want to compare it to the first series, but I don't know. The few times I have done the random thing, I just kind of feel like I'm never quite getting near where I want. The first series kind of goes a little bit quicker when you're cycling through random areas, but it's not by much. It's just like that slot scroll thing. So instead, what I usually do if I'm trying to find just a separate area to train at, and it does happen a couple times, I'm not sure if I always keep it in, but all the area words we've been getting from different forums and from prizes as doing well in areas, you can use all of these words to combine your own area. You don't always have to go to whatever area somebody tells you to, although in GU it's unfortunate because, you know, that usually happens. You know what, in the original series it usually happens too. Except for a couple times, you don't really have to go out of your way to train on your own. There's usually enough factors where the words you're given, or the area words you're given, or the area themselves that you're given, are more than enough. So, I'm actually not 100% sure about how all of these words affect each of these things, because these words will affect things like the mission and the item levels and the monster levels. I think the people that will show up in the area are random. But all those words have, like, they don't do a good job of showing you how they affect it. It's kind of just something you gotta notice yourself. And yes, since this is just a basic training area with nothing to do in the story, I am going to speed this up a little bit. One would argue, why didn't I just omit it completely? Well, I don't know. I like to make sure everybody's on track of, you know, where our levels are at, if we're leveling up our weapon levels and getting new skills and stuff, what kind of items we're doing, blah, 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 blah. But, you know, I do realize that it's, with GU especially, with the same types of areas and the same types of enemies over and over, it can get very repetitive. So, I'm hoping this is kind of a nice compromise between showing off what you have to do in the game and kind of not focusing too much on the same thing for half the Let's Play. But we'll see. We don't spend too much time here. Like I said, the match with Alkaid is definitely in this episode. So, you know, it's funny too because I was editing a bunch of footage together to try to cut some of the time down for like the next several episodes, and all of these monsters are in there. I'm sorry, I can't. I don't know if I'll ever stop complaining about this, but you know, one of GU's biggest faults is definitely the lack of monster variety. I mean, I feel like I should just be thankful that there's 3 different types of monsters in a single battle right now. Like, if only that happened more often, too, it would be, like, a little better, but, like, there's just so many encounters with, like, 3 of the same type of enemy, and you fight that, like, 10 times in the same area, and it drives me crazy. I almost really want to go back to one of my old files in the original series and just walk around an area just to be 100% sure I'm not misremembering, because I really feel like there was more variety, like plenty more variety in the first series. I don't know why, it's just so the way it is here. And you know, maybe it's because battles in the first series also went by like much more quickly. If not quickly, then these were, like, seamless. As I've mentioned before, there was no, like, battle intro and battle ending like most other RPGs. It was just, like, just a very good transition into the battles themselves. So it didn't really feel like a lot of time was being wasted. But, jeez Louise, man, it's just... Especially those flying enemies, those Chicky Dadas, they're a pain. A lot of the flying enemies are a pain, if not so much because you have that bar to get rid of, but they're usually out of your reach, and you can't really do much with that. While I was playing the game the other day, I kind of realized when you get your scythe back, your scythe can actually hit them with a normal attack in the air. I don't know if it's everybody, but the flying enemies I was facing against did, when my twin blades and my broadsword couldn't. So it was kind of irritated me, because when you do get your scythe back and you can do skill and you can set up your skill triggers so that you can have multiple skills from different classes set automatically, they'll give you like a they call it like a weakness, what like type of weapon an enemy is weak to. I don't really know if it does that much extra damage or not, but skill-wise, it's usually better to do it. Or combat-wise. Like, these giant things here would probably be twin blades, because you're getting a lot of hits into a large enemy that doesn't move very often. The armor enemies will have your broadsword, because broadswords do more damage and take that bar down faster. But the flying enemies, a lot of times, they have their weakness set to Twin Blades. So I've been doing aerial Twin Blade moves against those flying enemies. And it kind of pissed me off when I figured out I could use my Scythe to, like, hit them normally. Because, like, you have plenty of SP healing items, so it's not really a big deal, but, like, it does kind of bug me how you have to, you know, waste SP using skills just to get an enemy down onto the ground so you can actually hit it in the first place. I suppose this is where magic would come in better. If you have, like, Gaspard or one of the future Shadow Warlocks you get in the game, then it might be a little bit easier. But even then, you know, they don't, like, go all out with magic or anything like that. I don't know why, but your mages in this game, even if they're... You know, they say maybe if you set them to rage, they'll do their magics more often, because rage has, you just do your skills over and over and over again. But, like, when you do free-for-all, you know, I'd expect, like, a mage to, like, hang back, since their stats for close quarters combat are a little bit lower. But, they don't. They just, you know, go straight up to the enemy, and they still attack it, even though they're, like, doing nothing. They're a little bit conservative with their skills sometimes. But anyway, we'll get to that when we get to that. Well, actually, we're currently still dealing with it, so no big deal. But yeah, it's finally time! Story stuff and Alkaid stuff! I'm so excited! And unfortunately, I don't know why, Adelie, this might trip you up, because it tripped me up. I was kind of concerned that Adelie wasn't available to join your party even when you're in Lumen Cloth. I thought maybe just on the off chance she might be there if you go to the town you're supposed to be in, and it's like, oh crap, do I have to fight Alkaid with just Syllabus? I shouldn't be concerned about this, because like I said, I've played this part before this particular part you're seeing right now, because I got my ass kicked and I just didn't keep the footage and whatever. But yeah, now Adelie will run up to you just as you're about to go in, but I always hate when you do this stuff, especially when they tell you to save beforehand, because whatever.
Natalie's late, isn't she?
Yeah.
She did say she'd come, so I'm sure there's nothing to be worried about.
Yeah. Hey, what the? Who said that I was worried?
I'm here. I'm so glad I made it on time.
It's so weird when,
Adelie,
like, characters pant
you made
when
it.
all they're really doing is,
Yeah.
like, holding the control stick forward
Did
in front of their
something
PC.
happen, Natalie?
You gotta listen. While I was on the bus, I sort of fell asleep. I missed my stop and ended up all the way at the last stop. I was like, oh man, where is this place?
Uh-huh.
Mr. Haseo, the semi-final match is about to begin. Please finish the registration process. Thank you.
Oh, the match is about to start. Let's go, everyone.
Just want to say something. That music track that just played now, I've never really been a fan of it. I feel like characters' voices drown out a lot whenever it's playing, and it just seems like very goofy. I mean, it's a track you'd expect from a JRPG. It's not like it's out of place or anything, but I don't know. It's just like one of those things that reminds me, like, this doesn't really sound like dot hack music. But,
What's up? What can
yeah,
I do
we're,
for you?
like you saw, we're very close to levels with Alkaid. We're just about matching her levels, except for Adelie, who just, you know, couldn't do anything. And apparently she didn't level up at all from whatever we did. Not that we leveled up too much either, but whatever.
Oh, Cloney, stop that.
Oh man, and Kun, because you know, he's a ladies' man.
Sure, you two do those things too.
You have to drive that point home every now and then,
But,
'cause,
Cooney,
you know, it's such a big part of his personality that shows up all the time.
What did I get myself into? Hey, sup?
Well,
You seem to be enjoying yourself.
There's a much bigger reason for this.
Oh,
They went in the
anime.
ocean.
You're so funny. Always coming up with the freshest jokes.
Sorry.
Hey, you! Yeah, Cooney's coming with us. What's with her?
Do you think Haseo can win?
See, I think this scene should have just started here.
I honestly have no idea.
That
boy
stupid
does
skit
have his ups
before
and
was
downs,
just
you know?
like
Very interesting.
so
You say that
dumb
almost
and
as if you think
unnecessary.
he has a chance of winning.
Oh, that hurts.
But it's the truth. Let's face it. If he fights normally, he will lose.
It's true. Alkaid is
He's fighting
badass.
former Emperor Alkaid. Her skills are quite formidable. Even if Haseo has leveled up a bit, it's highly doubtful that he's closed the gap in skill.
I wonder. That may be true, but he's been training hard up until just recently, you know.
What do you mean? We're not gonna stop
You know
training.
what your biggest fault
Spoiler
is?
alert.
Is that
Sorry,
you
but
always run away from inconvenient
there is
conclusions.
there is more training ahead.
Let's face it, there is no way that Haseo can win this fight. Not without using his avatar.
Yeah.
It sounds like Pai wants
Which
him to
means
use it.
He's definitely going to
Like,
use
despite all the
it. When that
criticism against it.
When he uses it, what are you gonna do about it?
What do you mean, what's Kun gonna do about it? You have an avatar too, Pai. You can do something as well, instead of just complaining about it. It's weird, because, like, Kun is, like... Aside from Haseo, Kun is the only other epitaph user that, like, summons his avatar other than the fight that happens with Haseo.
Provide you with commentary from the Holy Palace Emperor. Mr. Sirius, thank you.
Ah,
Thank you
it's
for
the
joining us
telephone
today,
pole.
Mr. Sirius.
Oh man, I gotta remember that. That was like one of the funniest things in the series.
Alkaid, the former emperor of the Demon Palace. I heard the condition for joining Ikolo is to be an arena emperor, but it's not a condition, it's a qualification. Oh, of course, it's a
Yeah, if you couldn't tell, Sirius is,
Unfortunately,
well,
Alkaid was robbed of her throne by the
serious.
Emperor Endrance. But in this season's tournament, she's aiming to try and
My
reclaim
heart.
her place. Do you have a message for her? If you wish for glory, be strong.
Look at
Okay, then.
Alkaid. She is not in the mood for any of Haseo's shit.
No contest. That's all. Thank you.
Come on! Come on! I'll take you out in an instant!
And she did, but unfortunately that's not the battle we're gonna see here. This is, it doesn't go so badly. Unfortunately, that extra training was a little unnecessary, I guess. It probably wasn't something we needed to do, but I don't know. I guess I was just feeling cautious. Because it wasn't just like one time I lost to Alkaid, I lost to her like 5 times. So, I wasn't really sure where I should be on it. It was doing one of those things where, what was it? Like, did I explain about, like, the chip damage? I think I explained about, like, the chip damage, where if, like, the difference between your, levels is too big, then it'll make a different sound when you hit an opponent.
You won't get away with this! Okay, here goes!
Yeah, I like how Alkaid's 2 little cronies just don't have anything to say.
Damn. What kind of attack was that? Am I going to lose here? Am I going to lose?
What? You think you can win every time?
Alkaid is a very strong fighter.
So, you see, you and I are on totally different levels. Get it?
Damn. 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 Where's that damn fourth Chaos Emerald. Just you wait. I'm going to take her down without even using my avatar.
It's not a place where you can win just because you say it.
No, not without using the avatar.
A rival? Him? He looks weak.
Fantastic! It looks like Team Haseo has done it again, folks.
So yeah, not a big deal.
Thought Team Alkaid had this match in the bag.
In fact, you could even call it very anticlimactic. It was one of those battles where, you know, you didn't even have to bring your HP down all the way. I think around half was what it was.
What do you think, Mr.
The way he moves his head there. Look what you did, Haseo.
So, you're nothing more than a big fat cheater as well.
Yup.
I'll never forgive you.
I think it's about time that you answered my question once and for all. So tell me, what's your plan? What are you going to do about Haseo?
What are you gonna do about Haseo, Pai?
Haseo. He thinks it's acceptable to do anything, just as long as he wins. Well, I'm gonna show him how foolish he is. I'll teach him how frightening avatars truly are.
See, this here doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, because, like, other Epitaph users could see that. Pai and Kun could see that. I don't know if it was, like, a problem of being, like, too far away, but... Not to side with Haseo, but... You know, you can kind of clearly see he was losing control of his avatar. It wasn't him choosing how to do it. I don't know, just a minor thing that didn't really seem to make much sense to me. But anyway, so that was our fight with Alkaid. It could have been a lot more interesting if I kept that footage of me getting my ass kicked over and over again. So, oops. Whatever. We're closer to Endurance, one step closer to Endurance. One step closer to Tri-Edge. By the way, part 34. Isn't it so good how, like, the villain of this game hasn't, like, been showed up or mentioned? And do you remember? I don't remember. I think it was that one time Yada showed us the Serpent of Lore. But, I don't know. Whatever. See you guys next time.